Well, I was not planning on doing this stream. I had to be perfectly honest right now. I was not planning on going live at this moment, but this Red Sox Blue Jay game last night that I watched at Bose, believe it or not, sucked last night. It was really just a pathetic performance by the Red Sox really last night. And in a way, you open the second half of the year at home. By the way, you got your former Red Sox player, David Ortiz, being inducted in the Hall of Fame tomorrow in the MLB Hall of Fame. Not a lot of hype behind the Hall of Fame this year, by the way, just FYI. But after last night, there's not a lot of hype in watching another Red Sox team the rest of the season after this pathetic performance they had at home last night to open up the series against the Blue Jays last night after the All-Star break. I don't know what the hell happened last night. I'm watching the game. I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know what? It's early. It's only 1-0. Bichette grinded it out to the pitcher, which allowed Vladimir Guerrero to score. I don't know if it was like a sacrifice bunt. And Kirk went to second. That's how the game went up with last night. Then Chapman had a 2-run shot, made it 3-0. That was in the second inning. Then it was 7 runs in the third inning. I was like, this is not good. Because at that point, it was Guerrero Jr. with a single to center, which allowed Bichette to score and Kirk to score and Hernandez to score. It was basically a bases-loaded clearing single, which allowed 2 runs to score. I'm sorry. So Hernandez with the second. My bad. Espinosa single to right field, which allowed Hernandez to score. Espinosa went to second, and Guerrero Jr. went to third. I guess there was an error throwing, which allowed Espinosa to went to second, I guess. And Tapia hit it inside the home run grand slam. And inside the home run grand slam, you know how hard that is to hit it inside the home run here at Fenway Park? You talk about the effort last night that was shown in this game. Because the center fielder lost this. I think it was Duran who lost this. And I'm thinking to myself, how are these guys losing the ball this easily in a dark night at Fenway Park? I just don't get that. Then Hernandez hits a home run. Then later on, Jansen hits a 3-run shot, made it 14-0. At this point, it's 14-0. Now the Reds have got some runs in there. They got Vasquez who hit a homer to left field. Jackie Bradley had a 2-run shot, made it 14-3. But this game was already over by this point. Because I'll show you how many runs they scored. They scored 11 runs in the 5th inning. I'll show you how that happened. Guerrero Jr. had a single to center field, which allowed Bichette to score. Hernandez with the second. Chapman reached on an infield single, made it 16-3. Jason went to single to right field, made it 17-3. Taffy had a double, 2-run score, made it 19-3. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had a single to left field, 2-run score there, made it 21-3. Bichette had a single to right field. Guerrero Jr. scored, and Kirk went to third, made it 22-3. Hernandez single to right field, which allowed Kirk to score. Guerrero Jr. doubled deep center field. Hernandez scored, and Bichette scored. Jason scored, and the 6th with a 2-run shot. Christian Vasquez had another home run. And Ref Snyder had a home run for the Red Sox, made it 27-5. And Chapman had a single left center field, which allowed Big O to score. Made it 28-5. 28-5 last night. This was pathetic. And you want to talk about a team that basically quit on their manager last night, quit on their whole season. This was the game that solidified that finish. That's what it did. And I can tell you right now, after last night, if I was the owner of the Red Sox last night, if I was the CEO of this team, I would fire Alex Cora last night, because this was a team that just was not ready, didn't even try in this game. You talk about a game where where you have an inside the park home run grand slam in center field. By the way, not very hard to track these balls out in center field. I don't know if Duran just lost himself there, if he forgot how to play baseball for 5 minutes and just didn't realize how to track a ball out in center field at Fenway Park. To me, that's not even the issue. You're Nathan Eovaldi last night, and you're coming out right now allowing 8 runs in the second inning. And you only had two. I think you only had 2 strikeouts in the game. You had 1 walk in the game. You allowed 1 home run in this game. You get yanked, right? That's a good call right there to yank a guy like that who's not showing his best stuff last night. But I'm furious. You have a Red Sox legend during this era, by the way, who's being inducted into the MLB Hall of Fame last night, who really made a case last night for Rafael Devers to re-sign here with the Red Sox and keep this guy here long term. Okay? That's who you have. And last night, as crazy as it seems, he wasn't even in the lineup last night. Or he wasn't in the lineup last night. He went 1 for 3 last night. Didn't produce an RBI or a single or really a hit last night that would have changed the game. He had a double to deep left field. That was it. That was it. He struck out swinging and he lined out the left field. He never went out to bed again the rest of the night. You know what they put in instead? They put in Bobby Dalbec, who is now, by the way, hitting 0 for 1 in this game. By the way, Bobby Dalbec, I think, I don't know if this was before the break or what. I think it was either him or Cordero. No, it was Cordero. Cordero, who at one point, pretty sure struck out like every game at this point. I think had 16 straight games where he just struck out like 15 out of the 16 times. He came in the last night. This team makes me sick to my stomach. At one point, they had Jeter Downs come in there last night to sub in last night for, I believe he was subbing in for Bogarts in the game. And you want to know something? He struck out 3 times last night. I have never seen a Red Sox team look more weak, look more ridiculous, look more absolutely pathetic after an all-star break like this Red Sox team looked last night. They looked like they just didn't care about the season at all. They didn't care about what this weekend is like right now. They had the Hall of Fame this weekend. You got an absolute Red Sox legend, a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer being inducted. And this is how you come out and perform last night? You allowed 28 runs against a team last night that realistically should have never even scored that many runs. It shouldn't have even gotten to that point. But here you are with a team with the worst bullpen in the league. And after last night, it has to be. Because I don't see how you allow a game where you allow 28 runs and you don't have the worst bullpen out of it after last night. Your bullpen sucks, by the way. By the way, there was no Whitlock in this game. Don't ask me why there was no Whitlock. I have no idea why Whitlock didn't play in this game. You had an entire All-Star break, and you had no Whitlock last night. You had a guy like Hernandez who stayed in there for way too long. He had 6 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Davis had 5 earned runs. I wouldn't have even allowed him to stay in the game at that point. But this is like the worst thing about this Red Sox team last night. You talk about a team who absolutely quit last night, and they freaking did. There's no excuse about it last night. But 28-5. By the way, the most runs you allowed in franchise history if you're a Red Sox club. The most runs you allowed in franchise history. I don't know if this team just didn't care last night, doesn't know how to play in the outfield last night. But I'm watching this game. And I'm watching how this game played out, and I can't believe what I'm watching. I said to myself, if they score 30 runs, I'm going to take at least 3 or 4 shots of Hennessy last night. That's what I was going to do. Luckily, I never got to that point because I don't think I would be able to do this review the same day. I'd probably be too hungover. But I'm just like absolutely pissed off and disappointed at this Red Sox club because now at this point, they're in 4th place, obviously. So this is how this is going to go. And after last night, you allowed 28 runs at this point. And now you've allowed 440 runs this season. You're already in the negatives now and a run differential now by 5 runs by a 5-run difference. And in your last 10 games, well, you went 3-7. There's no effort with this Red Sox team anymore. And what makes it even worse is you have played now 44 games at home, and you're 23-21. You open the All-Star break, you restart your season at that point. It's a different time now. You're at 0-0 at that point. You don't worry about the record at that point. You just move on. I think this Red Sox team was ready to throw it in after, the first week of the year, was ready to throw it in after last night. Because I've never seen a team with no effort who went out of their way to absolutely suck last night, to completely shit the bed at Fenway Park last night. And I feel bad for that 35,000 group of people. By the way, they all stayed for this game. Why the hell would you stay in a game like that after you allow 23 runs? Or you lose by 23 runs? I have no idea. You allowed 28 runs. I wouldn't even stay there after you allowed 10. I would have left after it was 10-0 in the third. I would have never stuck around and watched this thing. And I was surprised. Because normally when I see a Red Sox game get lopsided like this, I usually see fans leave. And that's just Red Sox fans in general. That's not like a Boston sport thing. Because if the Celtics had a game like that where they let down by 30 points at home, the fans would stay. So I don't know if they were just Red Sox fans just disguised as Celtic fans yesterday that stayed and watched this piece of shit game. Because this is what this was. This was a piece of shit performance last night. No excuse for it. Jared Duran, I would say right now, shouldn't be out in center field anymore. In fact, if you want my honest opinion, I don't really think Jared Duran even deserves a spot on this team. He deserves to be back in Worcester trying to figure out how to play baseball. Because in reality, he left his brain out in that dugout last night, trying to track that ball and allowing it inside the home run grand slam. You know how hard it is to allow a play like that? And really in an effort, and the effort trying to get the ball out there. I'll go get it. Like, dude, it never went to the fans and it dropped off a fan's glove. It never got to that point. Jared Duran played like a wuss last night out in center field. An absolute wuss. And what makes it worse is the effort trying to track that ball down and allowing that inside the park home run grand slam from happening. At least you could have allowed a bases clearing triple. At that point, if you allowed that would have been fine. But an inside the park home run grand slam. By the way, I don't know what this guy was looking for. Like why is he yelling? And here's my question. If you're trying to track the ball, why are you looking at the freaking play of field that's going on in the field itself and not worried about that so much and not worried about actually hitting the freaking ball? I just want to know. I want to know the answer to that question. This game was pathetic last night, though. Absolutely pathetic. I mean, they scored it pretty much every inning last night. They scored all 6 innings last night to really just make this nightmare continue. And what makes it even worse is if Valdi's your third best pitcher, in my opinion, on this team. Your third best pitcher on this team. It feels like now. And after last night, I don't even think he even has I don't think I can even put him in the top 5. After last night, I don't think I can. But this Red Sox team sucks. I can't even watch this team the rest of the season because I can just feel the disappointment growing inside my chest. It was huge disappointment after last night watching this game. It really was. They have no business, none whatsoever, to make a playoff run now at this point after what they allowed last night. They don't. Because you know what they're going to do in this first game, and they're probably going to make history for it? Allow 20-plus runs in a postseason game. The last time there was a postseason game that they actually allowed over 15-plus runs, it was the Red Sox, ironically, in a series where they should have actually lost the series, which was the ALCS back in 2004. And I think they lost 19-11, I think. And that was a Game 3 in the ALCS against the Yankee team that really, at that year, should have won the World Series. And I'm a Red Sox fan for saying this right now, but I think both teams deserved to go to the World Series that year. They were both good. They were both on top of their game. And that was a series after that where the Red Sox got motivated and they snapped out of their bull crap. This team here ain't going to snap out of anything. You're 2 games below 500. You're 3.5 back of the wild card for that second spot, really. Let's be honest. You're probably 5 or 6 games back in the first spot. I mean, this is a Red Sox club that is so terrible that just does not care. They just didn't show any effort. They could have cared less last night about this game. They really did. Devers went 1 for 3. Bogaerts went 0 for 3. Bogaerts, what his effort was last night? He struck out 3 times. That was his effort last night. That's a player right there that knows he's on his way out. He's on his way out. Could care less how his stat goes now going forward. And at one point, you put in Bobby Delbeck in for Rafael Devers. Here's my question out of curiosity. Why didn't you just do a defensive of swap here? Because Christian Vasquez at first base was just cringeworthy. Cringeworthy. You had Aaron Thrones all over the place. It was terrible to watch. Vasquez was the only player that they showed up there last night. I would have changed Vasquez from first base to catcher. At one point, he played second base last night too. Like I just thought that was strange. I thought that was strange. I don't know why they kept Plasky in there. I guess that he was the only one that really started to hit last night. But this was a game last night where if you wanted to try out Devers at first base, you do it. I don't care if what's his face has got the hot hand. There's no reason for this game being played the way it was played last night. Absolutely no excuse. And I'm a Red Sox fan who's actually freaking furious. I am beyond pissed off because a team is at home. You try to establish yourself back in the American League East at this point to not be back in the mediocre section in the Major League standings, especially in the toughest division possible to try to win in, where your arch rival, the Yankees, has the best record in baseball right now at 65 wins. They're 65-30 last night after their 7-6 win last night against the Baltimore Orioles last night. That team, by the way, should not be in last place. You guys belong in that same spot right now. And after last night, I kind of hope you finish in last place. I kind of hope you suck the rest of the way. And right now, I'm just gonna put this team on blast. I kind of hope they allow another 30 runs tonight. I hope this time it's 30-3. I hope we get the Texas Rangers, Baltimore Orioles from 2007 all over again. 15 years ago, the Rangers did the exact same thing. They scored 30 runs. The Orioles only scored 3 in that game. By the way, the Orioles were home in this game. You know what I didn't notice about these games, and I really do notice this? Every road team has done this. I've never seen a home team go out there and completely dominate, and they actually scored over 20-plus runs. I haven't seen it. Hasn't happened. The Red Sox, up to this point, have been outscored in their games, and I gotta say this because I think this is hilarious now at this point. Anyway, they've been outscored now 59-13. 59-13 last night in their last 4 games. 59-13, and they're 12-28 they're 12-28 this season against the AL East itself. You want to know something? They absolutely suck. Their GM could give 2 shits about this season. He's trying to treat this like it's a spreadsheet and an insurance company. He might as well go work for Acrisure, the new insurance high-tech company they got going on in Pittsburgh. Alex Cora might as well be a used car salesman, trying to say, like, it's not over yet. You can still do it. This team sucks. This team blows. They have no business winning this series. I'd be stunned right now if they woke up tonight and they won this game and they won the game tomorrow. And for God's sakes, do it for Big Papi. What is wrong with you guys? You guys were in the All-Star game for a reason, Devers and Bogaerts. You showed more effort. You know what their effort was last night? Combined 1 for 6 last night, batting last night. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Christian Vasquez and Kevin Pleshke had a better showing last night in this game than you guys have shown all week long. That's terrible. If I'm a Red Sox fan tonight, I actually think about selling my tickets right to the next person. I wouldn't even go to this game. If I was if I was like one of those local guys who got season tickets, I would cancel my season ticket for next season. Because we all know now Devers ain't going to come back. And Bogarts ain't going to come back. And I know this is just one game. Maybe I'm just over exaggerating the whole thing. But you want to know something? Devers and Bogarts deserve better. You know who also deserves better? Trevor Story, who didn't even play last night. Because we let Jeter Downs, who's by the way batting 172, and he struck out 3 times last night playing this game. We also let Bobby Dahlbeck, who sounds like a mechanic out in New Hampshire somewhere in the middle of nowhere. That's what this guy sounds like. Now, if you would say the name, people would say to me, who the hell is Bobby Dahlbeck? Who the hell is freaking Bobby Dahlbeck? And after last night, I got to say right now, he didn't even exist last night. Because you only had 1 at-bat last night. Now, you only have 1 at-bat last night. There's a reason for that. Because it's probably because you suck. And he does. He struck out looking. No effort last night. No effort. You know what's worse? If you're Durant, you struck out 3 times last night. You butted out the ground out to second base last night. That was pathetic. That was, by the way, his first at-bat last night. He butted out to second to ground out in this game. I don't know if it was like one of those little half-ass hits last night or he really just butted out to the second baseman. But if that's your first attempt at an at-bat last night, you don't deserve to be on this team. You don't deserve it. I mean, this was pathetic. This was absolutely pathetic. Ref Snyder, Vasquez were the only guys last night that actually gave a damn last night about this game, along with Pulaski. I have my doubts about the rest of these guys. I really do. They absolutely need to re-examine their livelihoods at this point after last night. I'm sorry, they need to. They need to after last night. By the way, I'll give you the rest of the scores right here. Cubs beat the Phillies last night 15-2. Dodgers beat the Giants last night 5-1. Reds beat the St. Louis Cardinals. I almost called them the Cincinnati Cardinals 9-5. Marlins beat the Pirates 8-1. The Yankees beat the Orioles 7-6. The Padres went into Citi Field last night, beat the Mets 4-1. They opened up their series last night. Scherzer last night, decent performance, not great. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts last night, while Darvish went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts last night. Braves beat the Angels 8-1. Guardians beat the White Sox 8-2. Brewers beat the Rockies in 13-6-5. Brewers had a walk-off single by Urias last night, which allowed Davis to score from third. Long went to second. Tampa Bay Rays beat the Kansas City Royals 7-3. The Athletics beat the Rangers 5-4. Diamondbacks beat the Washington Nationals 10-1, and the Houston Nationals beat the Seattle Mariners last night 5-2. Ending the Seattle Mariners 14-game winning streak that came to a snap last night. And Aaron Judge last night was on fire for the Yankees last night. He actually hit 2 home runs in this game, making it now 36 home runs on the season and making the Yankees now 65-30 on the year. And the Dodgers last night did not disappoint last night. And Bellinger did something really surprising last night. The game was tied 1-1, hit a grand slam last night to put this game away. That's now back-to-back games now where the Dodgers had to hit go-ahead runs with more than 3 to 4 RBIs to put the game away. And you know who the saving person was in this game last night? It was none other than Cody Bellinger last night. Bellinger last night. Did I say Cody? I think I meant to say Cole Bellinger. I don't know. I think I said that. Oh, no, Cody Bellinger. I had it right. But he hit a home run last night. Had to be 1 for 4. That seems to be the common theme of the series so far. But anyway, Luke's walked which allowed Bex to score, made it 1-0. Mercedes for the Giants single to right field, which allowed Longoria to score. And Bellinger in the bottom of the eighth had a grand slam to make it 5-1. The Dodgers are now 62-30 and have the second best record in the majors. Kind of a sad story last night. And the saving grace in this whole thing here is if you're the Red Sox, you absolutely suck. You are a freaking terrible franchise. Your manager could give two craps about this season. Your GM could give two craps about this season. John Henry is basically ready for his happy ending right now and getting a massage somewhere, getting his happy ending from somebody. The rest of the ownership really is probably eating sushi somewhere in a restaurant in Boston right now, probably being heckled right now by a bunch of fans. As well they should. They absolutely deserve this absolute, because this season's a train wreck as far as I'm concerned. After last night. What's the direction they're going to go into now at this point? They have no business playing the series right now with any fight in them. Because if this is their fight last night, then they're already done by the first round. They already were knocked out at that point. They were already taken out of the game. And all it took was really an inning where you allow 11 runs after allowing 4 the previous inning, and the previous inning before that won 7. You allowed 30 hits last night if you're the Red Sox. 30 base hits. This game was an abomination. And if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm reselling my season tickets. I'm canceling the membership. I'm not, going to buy a bobblehead at this point, at this roster, because this roster doesn't even deserve to have a bobblehead night. And I'm just going to would just start rioting. I would just destroy things. I would destroy cotton candy machines. I would destroy the freaking outside the park and spray paint on there saying how the Red Sox are just terrible, how they suck. And if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm saying, shot, fire chime, fire chime, fire chime. That's what I would do today if I'm a Red Sox fan today. I go to that game, I heckle that freaking team, and I say, fire your GM and fire Cora. Cora, who just sucks as a manager anyway, it seems like now. Everyone wants to talk about how great of a manager he is. He knows what he's doing. He has no bullpen. He doesn't know how to dictate pace in a game. Even when he had a bullpen, he didn't even know how to do it. He always would screw up in that whole ordeal. So this is why this guy's the luckiest son of a gun to ever win a freaking World Series ring at this point. He was never even that good even as a player. He was such an afterthought on this team when he was part of the Red Sox back in 2007. This guy was such an afterthought when the Houston Astros won the World Series back in 2017. Let's be honest. And I gotta say here right now, as far as Red Sox fans go, I would chant fire, chime, and Cora. Fire, chime, and Cora. That's what I would chant today. Because John Henry needs to hear it. And Henry needs to step down as a president immediately. I would chant 2 things. Fire, chime, and Cora in one chant. And please retire John Henry. Because those 2 things right there may actually get the Red Sox ownership actually thinking. Either that or they'll just eat more sushi and then watch the game from the VIP room or go hang out at John Henry's mansion and not even go to the games. That's what they'll probably end up doing anyway. They'll probably you want to know something right now at this point? If I'm Cora and Chime Bloom, I actually think about staying there for a while so I don't get jumped out in the parking lot in Boston. Or go near High Point somewhere where you might get attacked and jump from behind. That happens a lot at High Point in Boston. Just saying. But I would go back in the mansion back down in Rhode Island, where John Henry bought the land, bought the property, and manage my games from there going forward the rest of the season. Because after this last night, if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm ready to punch somebody in the face. Hell, I'm ready to punch somebody in the face right now. That's how pissed off I am. It may not show it because I'm just actually waking up last night. I would have actually done this review last night, but I got home at 4 o'clock in the morning. Was not planning on to. But this was a horrible turn of events last night. Absolutely horrible. They go out in this game last night and you allow 28 runs, the most in franchise history, on a weekend where the MLB Hall of Fame's happening. I just, I watched this game and I was disgusted last night. I was absolutely disgusted last night at this performance. Pitiful performance last night in this game from start to finish. I mean, it's unbelievable. But here's your inductees right now in the Baseball Hall of Fame. There's 7 former players that will be inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and this includes the living legends here. David Ortiz, Jim Catt, Tony Olivia, Minnie Minoso, Bud Fowler, and Buck O'Neill. And Gil Hodges, too. Almost forgot to add him in there. So that is your Hall of Fame class that will be inducted this Sunday in Cooperstown, New York. I just found this out that to get in there, it's free. They don't even actually charge you for anything. If you want to take a drive down to Cooperstown, New York. I was going to take the drive down there, but I got a giant pit in my stomach right now after watching this Red Sox game last night. Absolute pit. I mean, I think about the turn of events of how this game played last night. And I felt like throwing up at the last night. I felt like throwing up. I felt like punching somebody. I felt like taking 5 shots at Henny. I felt like making out with one of the waiters at Bo's last night just to get myself out of the angry mode. But you want to know what actually kept me? You know what actually got, actually that actually probably made my night a lot better making out with one of the waitresses. But this was a pathetic game. You know what actually got me happy, though? Was seeing those waitresses. But not only that, but I was able to win 10 straight games last night at Bo's last night at Pool. I won 11 games to 2 last night. 11 wins, 2 losses last night. Probably my best outing I think I've had now in a while at this point. I mean, I've been on the roll ever since. I won 13 games last weekend. Actually, I won really combined 20 wins last weekend because I had 13 wins on Saturday night last week, and I had 7 on Sunday. But last night, I freaking came out, guns blazing, just destroying everybody that was in my path. No one could beat me last night. It's been a while since that happened last night, and that's how the Red Sox should have played last night. Instead, they're the ones that got absolutely freaking destroyed. They got totally destroyed in this game last night. And I'm a Red Sox, and if I'm just basing it off on this factor right now, if I'm the Red Sox right now, I just rethink at this point about this entire season. How do you get motivated after a game like that? How does anybody get motivated to watch this team for the next 3 months? I know, you don't. You don't. This was an absolute disaster of a game last night. And I think right now, the Red Sox right now should honestly just decide right now if they're going to fire Cora this month or the end of the season. Giant Bloom, I think they have already made a decision on at the last night. I think if this wasn't the game that solidified Giant Bloom's pink slip coming in the next 2 months, then this team is fucking hopeless. This team is absolutely fucking hopeless. And right now, I don't even think I ever want to see Giant Bloom ever again. Hell, I don't even want to see Alex Cora on my TV anymore. I don't even want to see Bobby Dahlbeck on my television. I don't want to see Dahlbeck. I don't want to see Jeter Downs. I don't want to see Jared Duran. You know what I think of now when I think of that stupid guy's name? I think of that song Duran Duran. That's what I think of. Because this was a fucking bad game last night. And I am fucking heated about this Red Sox team. I don't know what else to say here. I'm like rambling at this point. That's how angry I am. But if this does not get Alex Cora fired or Giant Bloom fired, and they go into next year with the same crew, then they absolutely and they actually don't even try to get back Devers or Bogarts here, I should probably add that in there, then this Red Sox team is completely hopeless. And you want to know what it'll end up being at this point? If they never ever fire Cora or Chaim Bloom going forward in any season they play now going forward, it'll be like Marvin Lewis and Paul Brown's relationship when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what it'll be like. Now, has the Boston Red Sox at this point gone from the Boston Red Sox to the Cincinnati Bengals at this point? Is that what I'm thinking right now at the last night? Is this how this is going to keep on happening at this point? We're going to have horrible games, really bad baseball on television, and the payoff's going to be Bloom and Cora save their jobs every single season? Because I don't want that. I don't want Alex Cora to be the manager of this team anymore. I don't want Chaim Bloom to be the GM anymore. I don't want this team to be freaking aggravated and basically hope for the best for Rafael Devers to get first base. Because what's the plan here? I'm just curious. Is the plan here to keep Bobby Dahlbeck at third base at this point? Because if it is, it's a terrible idea. Because I don't even want this guy on my television. But if the idea really is to sign Devers to that Matt Olson deal, that 8-year, $168 million deal he got to be with the Braves, if that's really the deal here, and the whole idea is to put Devers at first base, I would actually put Trevor Story at third base, Bogart at shortstop, and Jeter down to second base, if that's the idea. Because at this point, you got nothing to lose. Trevor Story, whose main position is second base, and I think he would be a really good third baseman. I think he would be. Because Jeter Downs at this point, listen, he's not a great hitter, but he is a good infielder. He is pretty good at what he does. But this Red Sox team completely shit the bed last night. And I think the Red Sox right now, today, should actually think about firing Alex Cora right before this game even starts today. They should just pull the trigger right now. Pull the trigger right this second. I don't see why you keep this guy around. What is so special about Alex Cora? I don't get it. Are they doing it for Big Papi at this point? Because I think Big Papi should be really thinking about liking Cora anymore. I don't even think he was even a fan of Cora that much. I think they were well liked to one another. I think they were well acquainted, but they're not lovey-dovey best friends. I don't know. Fire Cora. That's all I got to say. And they can't fire Chaim Bloom this week, then by the end of the year, Chaim Bloom should be no longer the GM of for this baseball team. You know, it worked out for whatever he did in Tampa Bay. It ain't working out here. Bottom line. All right, you know what? I'm done with this stream. I'm done with this freaking rant. I went on now for about 38 minutes for this pathetic Red Sox team that has no business playing baseball this afternoon against the Toronto Blue Jays. If I'm them at this point and I'm not ready to play, I wave the white flag. Give them the win. There's no point. There's just no point of them playing this week. All right, I'm done. I'm done ranting. What I'll do is right now, because I didn't mention the Baseball Hall of Fame. I meant to mention that yesterday in my podcast. I was glad I was able to mention it today, though. That is one thing. I will review the Hall of Fame itself on Tuesday. The entire episode will be about that Hall of Fame induction on Tuesday. It'll just be mainly baseball stuff. There's not really a lot of basketball news going on, unless somehow Kevin Durant gets traded to the Boston Celtics this weekend. I'm thinking now that's not going to even happen now. That he probably watched this game and said to himself, why would I want to go play? Why would I want to go play here? And watch this Red Sox team look like a complete dumpster fire of a franchise. You know what I'm going to root for today? Just for the hell of it today? I might just root for the Toronto Blue Jays today. I might just get the Blue Jay Vladimir Guerrero jersey. Might just buy it online, get it shipped to my house, and start rooting for the Blue Jays now going forward. Because you want to know something? I kind of hope they make the postseason right now with the Red Sox. No offense. I hope they do. I hope somehow they make the postseason right now. They beat the Rays. They go up against the Yankees, and they challenge the Yankees. I think this team can actually do it. The Rays can't. The Red Sox, no chance. That's it. I'm done with this review. I really did not think I was going to go 39 minutes or more long here, but that's it. But I will review the Hall of Fame on Tuesday. I will do the Jeter. Jeter stuff, It may have some hockey stuff news going on as far as free agency goes. I mean, there's not really a lot of stories right now going forward. If you're not caught up, you can go on Bleacher Report. I'm done here, pretty much. You can follow me every social media trend. I put it in the last description of the episode. If you are having trouble though viewing my episodes, I've been getting a lot of complaints right now that there are people right now who are not getting the shows. So I will fix that as of right now, so people can start viewing the episodes. Other than that, I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. See you on Tuesday.